of ATNS and of course Ms. Mpofu, our host CEO here at AXA, as well as members of the Joint Operation Center. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to confirm that South Africa's points of entry are ready to host the G20 Leaders Summit. Our aviation sector has completed all critical preparations to meet the rigorous standards expected for this historic event. Last year, it's exactly a year ago, on the 19th of November, the Airports Company of South Africa CEO was tasked to coordinate all G20 aviation matters, and through the collaborative work of the Aviation Forum, which included the Department of Transport, ATNS, SACA, South African Airways, the security agencies in a joint substructure of NatJoints called the Venue Operations Center VOC, we have ensured the seamless integration and coordination of all our airports nationwide. As of the 9th of December 2024, the G20 Aviation Forum began coordinating aviation activities in support of all of the participating government departments within the G20, and also for all of the G20 working groups. And we have successfully supported the coordination and facilitation of G20 delegates across the following AXA and private airports: OR Tambo International, King Shaka International, Cape Town International, David Stuurman International Airport, Polokwane International Airport, Kruger Mpumalanga International Airport, and of course Skukuza Airport. The government of South Africa has recognized and approved 3 airports and 1 fixed-based operator as the main airports to facilitate the heads of state and G20 dignitaries in preparation for the Leaders Summit. And as of May 2025, the G20 Aviation Forum comprised OR Tambo, which is a port of entry for the Leaders Summit, Fireblade Terminal, which is a fixed-based operator facilitating the heads of state entry for the Leaders Summit, Lanseria International Airport as a port of entry for the Leaders Summit, Waterkloof Air Base as a port of entry for the Leaders Summit. And obviously, in all the work that these airports do, they are supported by the Civil Aviation Authority, the Air Traffic Navigation Services, South African Airways, which is the official airline carrier for the G20, and our Department of Transport. On the 25th of October this year, we had our first dry run, which demonstrated the readiness of all the ports of entry, and it set a benchmark for a high standard of operational excellence for this important Leaders Summit. The command center and the venue operating centers at OR Tambo International Airport, Fireblade Terminal, Lanseria International Airport, and Waterkloof Air Base are now fully operational. These centers maintain uninterrupted operations, conducting briefings at 7 a.m. every morning and 1300 hours every day, with the flexibility to convene if additional meetings are needed. The command center takes responsibility for coordinating all functions across the ports of entry and designated aircraft parking airports, ensuring a continuous and responsive operational presence. Now, I think it's very important as we prepare for all of the leaders who will be arriving tomorrow to clarify that we are expecting to have a continuous and stable power supply here at OR Tambo International. Obviously, our main income of supply is from the Ekurhuleni municipality through Isando, but should power be lost to OR Tambo, we do have backup generators that will take a few seconds to kick in, and they will provide uninterrupted power supply, ensuring that critical terminal, airside, western precinct and cargo activities continue without compromise. Our contingency systems respond exactly as designed, maintaining safety and operational continuity throughout. And I want to assure you that these events have further strengthened the airport's state of readiness. Systems have been reviewed, assessed and reinforced for operational resilience. We can assure you that everything is also ready at Waterkloof Air Base, at Fireblade, and of course at Lanseria. Now, with regard to air traffic navigation, the airport's company and the air traffic navigation services have executed a comprehensive readiness process, and they've activated real-time coordination across the 4 airports, supported by our Command and Control Center for seamless traffic flow and rapid tactical adjustments. Temporary airspace restrictions will apply on the 22nd and the 23rd of November to ensure secure operations without disrupting commercial flights. And I think it's important to say at this time that while we are expecting all of the heads of state to enter the country from tomorrow and to leave from Sunday, we are not expecting disruptions in commercial flights, and scheduled commercial flights have been integrated into our overall plan to ensure that ordinary citizens who might want to travel at this time will not be inconvenienced. From the point of view of jet fuel, we can assure you that we have stockpiled necessary fuel that will service all of the planes that would be coming in accompanying the heads of state. And we have fuel reserves of 54 million litres in place. Correct, 54 million litres, yeah, in place. There are additional staff, and what you would understand is that normally in the December period we do have increased traffic, and so what we have done is we have brought all of the additional staff that we would normally use in the holiday season. We have brought them in so that they should all be ready to service this particular activity. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I would want to pause. I can say to you that we're really pleased that this afternoon we got an updated weather report from the South African Weather Services to indicate that we are expecting fine weather over the course of the next few days, and the rain seems to have left us and moved to the Eastern Cape and also KwaZulu-Natal, so we're not expecting that there should be major flight disruptions between now and Sunday. At this point, let me pause, and we can then take questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Minister. As usual, we'll take a set of questions through, and then we'll allow the panel to respond to your questions, and with the discretion of the Minister, we'll indicate who takes the questions. So with a show of hands, you can just introduce yourself and the media outlet you represent. Any takers? I see the hand there. You can just introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Mbalente, intern 12 for SABC News. Now, this question is directed to ATNS. Now, in the past, we've heard of challenges where flights have failed to take off or land on time because of the technical error with regards to the system, with traffic volumes expected to rise due to the heads of states arriving as of tomorrow. Can we give any assurances that that will not happen and there are contingency measures to ensure that, you know, everyone lands on schedule? And
thank you. That will be for you, Mr. Mohanol. Second hand, can I see a hand? ENCA?
Good afternoon, my name is Dr. Dina Moerane from ENCA. My question also is to air traffic and navigation services. We know that the entity has been on the news recently over the suspension of over some procedures key to ensuring that there is air safety. What's happening at this point in time? And also to the Minister, on our way coming through here, we saw there are some people there who are there at the traffic lights because of the traffic lights are not functional at this point. What are you sure that everything's going to go smooth from your side come this weekend?
Okay, the last one. SABC, another bite. Okay, we'll allow you.
This question is directed to AXA. Now, yesterday or on Monday, we heard about the road closures for security measures. Talk us through the security measures and what went through the motive, or rather the thought process around these security measures.
Thanks so much. We'll allow the Minister just to respond to ENCA, and then Mr. Moholola will then come and then CEO, Mr. Umipofu.
If you can give me details of that traffic light, I will deal with the mayor right after this briefing and tell him his traffic light is on international media. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you. From ATN's perspective, we can confirm that all procedures are working as they should, and the systems, we've got them in place, and we are expecting no glitches whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The road closures basically have been on practice run from the 25th of October, and we've been working together with the various traffic departments, including RTMC, the provincial traffic, and the local Metro Police. We've been simulating traffic movements around the airport in order to gauge the normal traffic on those days, because our traffic also fluctuates from day to day. Friday afternoons tend to be particularly problematic around Kunulis. Most of you would know this. And so the simulations have really been about working out alternative routes, but redirecting traffic in those areas so as to manage the traffic flow and manage what will really be the movement of the special delegations of heads of states as they arrive. We have basically planned for very efficient movements of passengers as well who are not heads of states, and they are basically being managed in a controlled area. The delegates for G20 are being managed and distributed to special transport arrangements that have been made for pickup. But we've also looked at the various land transport sites. We're working together with Gautrain, we're working together with the e-hailers at level 2. So all of those areas have particular operational plans in order to direct people and traffic safely but efficiently throughout those areas. What has also been important for us is to anticipate what challenges we may face. So from a security perspective, we have also looked at reinforcing what is really a standard operating procedure at Airports Company that is informed by the fact that we are a national key point in order to direct potentially, we've heard suggestions that there might be protests of one sort or another, we're quite clear about the potential for South African initiated action, labor protests. We have a straightforward process for directing people to our speaker's corner. Our speaker's corner is a designated area on the other side of the airport. It's a regulated space where protesters are led very kindly by the security forces to protest, hand over memoranda, and make sure they can be guided away. We also anticipate that we may have protests that come from other countries upon the arrival of presidents of those countries. And again, the same SOP would apply of utilizing our speaker's corner. And that actually is very harshly enforced because we are a national key point, and how movement happens in an airport like ours is very much controlled. The other security measures that have been applied in order to just monitor the platform, secure the environment, direct traffic, but more importantly also ensure safe passage and efficient passage of the various convoys that are well timed with the heads of states as they arrive, and also the guarded convoys of the delegates of G20 who will also be accompanied out of the airport environment. The build-up period for us is now. We build up until the last person has arrived, and then we also have another peak when they are starting to depart after the 25th as they start leaving the environment. So we have two very detailed operational plans for arrivals and for departures, and enabling safe passage of both the delegates but also the heads of state, which is our primary responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you so much, CEO. Okay, the next set. Colleagues. This one. Any other hand? It seems Lancera is dodging the bullet.
Okay, we'll take it. Thank you for the opportunity. It's Chakwane Tlali from ENCA. This one is for Minister. I just want to know your view and your feeling with regard to unqualified points meaning the intersections within the city. And you find them oftentimes are even directing the traffic officers and they are unqualified. So I just wanted to know your view and your feeling with regard to that, because accident might happen.
Okay. Can we take SABC?
This question is directed to AXA. Now, we know that the airport tends to be fairly unsafe if you're landing anytime between 9 and 10 or just after those hours due to people who are posing as cab drivers trying to get passengers and turn out to be criminals. Is there something that's going to be done with regards to ensuring that that doesn't happen, as it does pose a safety concern, not only for those coming into the country, but also for passengers who generally use the airport?
Okay. Any other hand? Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, Starama Fokwane, Newsroom Africa. I'm not sure if my question will be answered by AXA or the Minister. But to the panel, the Kuruleni Metro is inundated with problems of their own at Matlanga Commission. What my question is, what other support in terms of law enforcement here at the airport have been put in place in addition to the EMPD?
Okay, thank you. Minister?
Yeah. Well, I think first of all we know that traffic management in cities is the responsibility of the city administration, and I think that we would always be urging cities to enhance traffic management because I think that one of the major priorities of this term of government is ensuring that by the next election we have reduced road accidents and road deaths by 45%. I must say that I meet on a weekly basis with all the MECs, and we look into the question of traffic management and how we are all working together to enhance road safety. The MECs themselves coordinate the mayors and coordinate the work of the Metro Police so that we all work together. And I think that we all understand some of the complexities in the informal situations that you're talking about, including the disruption of traffic lights. And through these forums, we would always be trying to highlight areas where problems exist and urge municipalities to take appropriate action. I've just come from the Joint Command Center. We have the police there, we have the Metro Police there, we have the Border Management Authority, we have many generals there. I think we're quite safe, actually.
Thank you, Minister. And just taking the cue from the Minister in relation to that, we have possibly the most sophisticated command center we've set up yet at AXA for the purposes of G20, but it will remain with us forever. And one of the important things we do there is to monitor very closely with cameras from the command center almost every important part of the airport, and every point of passenger facilitation is visible in the command center. That enables us to have on-time monitoring of activities of undesirable people, but we've reinforced that with the deployment of additional security staff, what is called aviation security staff from AXA. Within that is a new deployment of a tactical unit that has been deployed specifically to be able to manage what are landslide and airside problems, but the problems we are speaking to, I think this is from SABC, are the landside issues. We are managing that carefully, initially by segregating passengers, the G20 passengers, into the special channel that takes them efficiently into their transport. But for the balance of the passengers, we've increased the deployment of aviation security personnel and tactical units in order to manage it. But that's overseen by the command center that has clear visibility of when that becomes a problem. The second area that has been known to create a challenge sometimes is what we call level 2, where we've redirected all of our e-hailing, taxis, and public transport. I think up until 2 weeks ago, passengers would tell you that area has been cleared, it's well managed, additional people have been deployed there in order to create a pleasant passenger experience and not be crowded by touters. And let me just say, touting is actually an illegal activity. The enforcement and removing people who are not meant to be in an airport is something that we do proactively, but in certain instances, we have found that there may be some level of collaboration between our own security and the touters. But we aim to eliminate that. There are major changes that are coming to OR Tambo from next year onwards that will completely eliminate those activities, and South Africans must be ready for it, because in other countries we learn clear lessons that in fact you might need to eliminate non-passengers from the terminal building. And the minute we do that, that will help us and enable us to manage what we call visiting friends and family and people who come to pick up their family in a very responsible way. We're dealing with that issue. We're dealing also with G20, which is almost reversing our peak plans into the general December peak as one big intervention that will help us to manage this until mid-January, I must say. So this environment is being planned for until mid-January. The Egoruleni EMPD issue, I must confirm we're working very well with them. They are not distracted operationally by other matters like Malanga. The head of the institution has been part of our team. They've deployed a number of new people who actually are operating an additional personnel for the G20 and the peak period. And they are responsible really for the road traffic element in the airport and managing those kind of interferences or traffic transgressions that may happen in that environment. We haven't seen any impact. We suspect that those matters impact on a particular unit that is not the one that is deployed here, and we don't anticipate any shortages of staff from Egoruleni EMPD specifically for the airport. In fact, everybody who's here, every security agent has stepped up. They've given us more people. There's a command structure in place, and we're all hands on deck 24/7 until mid-January, so to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Maybe just the last one, SABC. This is turning out to be your press conference.
Valentin Territoire for SABC News. To the South African Civil Aviation Authority. You are here, right? Yes. Okay, thank you. Are you, at least as the regulator and the body responsible to oversee the aviation industry, are you pleased with the measures and all that has been said so far? Are you confident that you can ascertain the safety of all passengers and flights that are going to be landing, and that these measures are effective?
Good evening. My name is Karen and I'm a journalist from Travel News Weekly. My question is for ATNS. OR Tambo has previously faced challenges with limited flow control within its airspace management, and I was just wondering, how has ATNS managed the shortage in preparation for the increased traffic coming this weekend?
Okay, thank you. Any other? This is might just be the last one.
Thank you. We can confirm that ATNS does have the necessary capacity from a human resources perspective to manage the traffic flow. Together with the systems that we have in place, we should be able to manage whatever flows that come through.
Thank you for the question to SACAA. Fortunately, we've been part of the preparatory team, task team, so we've been working this journey with the stakeholders involved to make sure that all aspects of aviation are adequately covered. Straight to your point, yes, we have a very good level of confidence in the preparation and ensuring that all systems are functioning properly as we undertake a continuous oversight activity. G20 or not G20, the South African Civil Aviation Authority is always undertaking oversight activities as required. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, that takes us to the end of the press conference. I don't see any appetite. The NCA is looking at me, but it brings us to the end of the press conference. And no, the minister hasn't changed the mode of transportation to non-motorized. She's stayed a muscle. We wish you a speedy recovery, Minister.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.